Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy HeroCore here. Welcome to my second channel actually, and our part two of our first tutorial. Uh, Pretty much doing some basic designs on how to make a design, a signature to be more specific with only a render. So if you guys haven't watched part one, please stop this video and go watch it, and then come back so we're gonna keep going. I will leave a link in the description with the PSD, which if you follow it, and it didn't end up as mine, you can use mine. So there's no need to worry about it. So we're gonna go and we're gonna start. But if you have your own PSD, again, just open it. And if you don't know what PSD, then I would recommend you to watch part one because I already explained it there. So we're gonna go to the folder where you left your PSD. By the way, this is a nice image I found, and I'm definitely gonna use it for my next speed art. But anyways, let's go to a PSD folder and let's look for our PSD. I think it was this one, first tutorial part tutorial part one, first tutorial part one. I think it's this one. Yes, sir, it is this one. And now this is where we left over. I'm gonna upload this PSD as well, so if it didn't turn out like mine, you can just go ahead and use this one and keep going from this. So in the last video guys, we learned how to make a background with our own render. You learn how to do it, how to change the size of the render, how to you know duplicate renders, put it all together one image, how to smudge it because we got a nice smudge going on. We got a nice flow from left to right, bottom to top, and we got this awesome render. I like the colors and whatnot. So we are gonna keep doing guys because we are not done yet. Now if you see this render right here and you see her, you pretty much can tell that I just pasted this on the background, which a background we did ourselves. So there's a lot of things to take in consideration when you see a design professionally. Now, for people that do not do graphic designs, they pretty much are satisfied with this. And I'm pretty sure that most of you guys are already satisfied with this, but not myself because we can do so much to it just by doing basic Photoshop, and we're going to accomplish that on this part of the video. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. So let's keep going guys. What we're going to do now is that we want to make the render blend with the background. Now if I'm going too fast, please you can pause the video anytime and just go back and forth, watch it all over again as much time as you need it. I'm trying to make this with a lot of good details so you guys understand what you are doing and why you are doing it. As well, I'm trying to make it clear, and I apologize if I messed it up grammatically because English is my second language, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. So we're going to go ahead guys. To be more organized, we're going to take layer 1, which is supposed to be our background, and we're going to rename it. I'm not gonna tell you how to do it because you guys are supposed to already know this. So we're gonna name it background. If you don't know how to do this, please watch part 1 carefully. So so we don't get lost. We know we got our main render here, our background here, and we do this. you know so I'm gonna go faster this time. I'm gonna cover a lot of things that we already covered in part 1. If we haven't covered anything, I'll for sure do explain why and give you details. But let's keep going guys. So we're gonna take this background and we're gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna drag it on top of the render so it will cover now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a nice effect, a nice blend to the render, so it looks like this girl is coming out of the background. So using our copy, our second background, which is the same background, I call it second because we duplicate it, so we have two backgrounds, two of the same backgrounds. So after you drag it on top of the render should not be seen. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna lower the opacity, as you see right here. Opacity 100%. We're gonna leave it 51%, or maybe less. Let's do it 37%, so we can see the render now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick our eraser, and remember guys that we did some settings to it. So what we're gonna do Oh, never mind then. The settings erase because I think when you close Photoshop, the renders erase themselves. So, okay. So there's nothing to do to it. You don't have to modify the brush presets. Just pick a nice fading circle like this one and just make it a little bit bigger. Now what I'm going to tell you is to erase carefully on top of the render. Just on top of the render. Do not erase the corners, like the edges of the render, because we're gonna give it a nice flow, like she's coming out of it. So I know it's hard to see that you're erasing because um, what's really going on here is that we're actually erasing our background, the duplicate background. But because we don't see it, it doesn't seem like it's another background because we have the same backgrounds on top of it. So we're pretty much erasing. If you guys turn the opacity to 100, you will see you see her face here, you see the background. So we turn 37 because we're like making our background face so we can see where we're erasing through. So just erase on top of her. Do not erase the edges. Do it carefully with a lot of detail. Don't just go crazy and erase all over. You're gonna mess that up. It takes time. you know don't rush when you're gonna do a design. Do not rush. Take your time as much as you want. Just make sure it turns out pretty good. You can always be turning the opacity to 100 and then back to 37 so you can see how it's looking. So let's take a look. And as you can see here, it looks better. And here we go. Now I'm a pro. I'm already used to this, so I'm doing it with 100%. I know where she's exactly at and whatnot. So if you take a look at this now, you can go ahead and hide your background, your second background, which you duplicated. It should be called background copy. And as you can see, here we hide it, we cannot see it. You see that this a render here, and there's like this background, but it doesn't look blend. It just looks like I pasted on top of a background. Now here, when you turn like here, you see some nice shadowing effects, like she's coming out of the background, and that's the R right there. That's how lovely it is, and it's simple, and this is so basic, but it's so neat and good looking. It's awesome. So remember, we are doing all this by only using this render, which is this girl, and we have accomplished a lot. Now we are pretty much done with this. There's a lot of things we can add. We can add some brushes, some C4D, some frames, wireframes, some stock, and we can do some pen tooling. But of course, like I said, this is pretty much basic. Now we are done with our design. Now, of course, we're not definitely done like that, but we are gonna add some shadowing, some lighting, some depth, some gradient maps, some color correction. So let's get to it. Now, since we have our design here, and our design has like 5 layers, we're gonna merge all these layers into one layer. So what we're gonna do, guys, it's we're gonna create a new layer. You guys know how to do this already. If not, watch part 1 once again and just apply image. Go to image and apply image. And I'm not gonna explain what this does because I already did in part 1, so you guys are supposed to know this. And we're gonna go to filter, we're gonna go blur, and we're gonna do a Gaussian blur. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I apologize. Gaussian blur, whatever. We're gonna do it since it has night flow. We're gonna do it, a little bit 4.3 pixels. Hit OK. It will look like this, and we're gonna change the settings of this layer. So it's always when you create a new layer, it goes on normal, but this time we're gonna apply maybe uh, some vivid light. Maybe, why not? Yeah, some vivid light looks awesome. Of course, this looks all right here, but we're gonna lower the opacity to 80, and we're gonna take our eraser and just erase on the background like this, but do not erase on top of the render. So please take your time. You can zoom in. You see this right here. Make sure it's in plus, and you can zoom in, to go with more details. And just carefully, guys, just erase. then we can just go back to the original size. Oops, right here. It's pretty strong, so we're gonna reduce to, you know, uh, it's all about taste. So I'm gonna leave it in 61%. So what pretty much did, we applied the image and we did a filter, Gaussian blur. I think it was 4.3, I don't remember. So you can go back and check it. You know, it looks different right here. So you see this girl here looks pale. Here we're giving a little bit more of shadow, more focus on her face and her dark hair in the hood, whatnot. So it looks awesome. We're gonna go ahead, guys, and we're gonna apply some hue and saturation. Hue and saturation here, it's all about taste, so you can mess with it. Do not change the hue because the colors are gonna change, and I personally like the colors, but if you wanna go ahead and try your own thing, you know, make her look blue, red, you know, I'm just gonna keep it real. So I'm gonna leave it at 0, like it's being. But I'm gonna add some saturation, some more coloring here, like more vivid colors. I left in 23, a little bit of darkish here in -4, why not? And now what we're gonna do, it's the most important, we're gonna add some effects on it. We're gonna go ahead and just in case we don't mess it up, because if you see, guys, if I this is not a whole image, so if I want to make this darker, I gotta go to the render image, and then if I want to blur the background, I gotta go to the background image. So I don't have to be, you know, that's too tedious. So I'm just gonna go ahead, create a new layer and merge all the layers into one image, into one layer. You guys know how to do that. Just apply image when you create a new layer. So this whole image is now in one. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go to this sharpen tool here. No, I'm just gonna go to the blur tool and just blur the corners. Don't blur it too much because, you know, we want to keep a cool thingy going on here. I think it's well blurred. I think we can add some sharpen. Just click once. Be careful. Make sure your sharpening is in strength 50, or else it will not look good. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play with the burn tool. What this is, we're gonna add some shadow here in the corners. Make sure your exposure is 50% and your range is midtones. Add some uh, thing right there, and we're gonna add some dodge tool, like coming from here. Now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add a new light source. So we're gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna pick my brush tool, make it bigger here, you know, like this. And I'm just gonna, you know, so you guys can see it, I'm gonna go make it subtle-ish white and yellow. Just bam, do my light right there. Of course this looks ugly, but we're gonna change the normal one to overlay. Maybe some, we're gonna change it to hard light, and we are gonna lower the opacity to 23%. You know, just brush over it so we can see some lining source from there. And of course this does not look good, but when we apply some gradient maps, it's gonna look awesome. So I'm just gonna end my part 2 right here because I don't know how long this has been for. I apologize, I lost my count. I think we're doing this over 14 minutes, so I'm just gonna stop it right here, guys. I'll see you in part 3. Peace out, have a nice one. Hope you guys follow these, and don't forget to save your PSD. Thanks.